And I'm going to adjust our title cards very quickly at the beginning here, like I should have done already. But while I'm doing that, let's start with Joey. Do you want to give a
Yes.
quick
Hi.
rundown of your character?
Hi, I am Connor Leon, and I am the group's mechanic slash driver, and I do shady things for money.
And Bry?
Uh, I'm Connor's employer, Bernadette. Call me Birdie. Uh, I run a little side business back home that is currently not entirely legal, so for the sake of brevity, I'm just gonna say it involves making people very, very happy in the early 20s.
And Travis.
I'm playing Victor Oswald. He's a hobo with a shotgun and hunts monsters. There's no problem you can't solve with the right amount of explosives. Or 12 gauge.
And I'm Andrew. I'm the Keeper of Arcane Lore as we're playing through the Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign. We had to take a little break due to a medical emergency in my family, and we are down. We are down a player this week as Terry, who plays James, is out. But previously, everybody gathered in Lima in Peru as part of an archaeological expedition to find a lost pyramid full of golden treasures. You you found that there was some reason to be suspicious of both your employer, whose name is Augustus Larkin, and he described as his man, his personal servant, Luis de Mendoza. And the last member of your expedition, who is variously going by Jackson Elias or Jonathan Hammer, told you that he had heard of activity of the legendary Karisiri, fat-sucking vampires, who he believes to be a death cult active in Peru, and took you to the museum to get further information on the history of the area, on potentially the location of this pyramid. And in the basement, Victor alone made a terrible discovery as De Mendoza, in a horrific, monstrous form, was attacking a young woman. He managed to hold off both De Mendoza and another monster who was hiding in the basement along with him, long enough for the young woman to run upstairs. Victor soon followed, and De Mendoza and the other monster made their retreat through the other doors.
You forgot I threatened his life. It's an important detail.
Okay.
He'll come back later.
True. I'm sure that you will... Well, I'm sure that there'll be results. You learned of the history of the pyramid, of a previous expedition that had located it in the memoirs of a man named Gaspar Figueroa. He wrote his memoirs out as a confession, noting that he and several companions, including another man named Luis de Mendoza, had pried some gold out of the decorations of the pyramid, and the following night, as they were resting, an evil sickness came over all of Figueroa's companions. They attacked him. He managed to flee, taking some of the gold with him. You filed your police report on De Mendoza, Then you made your way back to the hotel and talked to Larkin yourselves. You found him to be in very poor health. And then, I believe that Victor and Jonathan Hammer were going to spend the night in the room adjacent to Larkin's, and the rest of you are going to go get some rest in your own hotel.
I mean, I planned on going back to the hotel, so yes.
I'm spending the night right in this one.
Camping it out for him to come back with his shotgun just sitting at the door.
Ow.
Listen, I'm just saying. This is the man's employer. He's probably gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Victor is going to spend the night here. Hammer or Elias wants to stay and try to get some more details on this Karasiri because he is fairly convinced that Victor might be a little hysterical, but he has a first-hand account of this cult, and he'd like to get a few more details so that he can make the book he's eventually going to write a little more exciting. Is anybody else sticking around here, or do you have something else to do?
No, I think I was just gonna head home.
Okay.
Not home, but back to the hotel.
Back to your hotel, yes.
Yeah.
So this is Saturday evening. Victor, I don't know how much you're willing to entertain the questioning. But Hammer is going to interview as extensively as you're willing to put up with.
I think the conversation will be a circle of me just telling him the facts of what I've seen and him not believing it, trying to answer our question in a different light. However, I give the same response, and it's a feedback.
Yeah, he's going to come at you a few different angles, but he's going to write down everything that you say and try to get the best accurate picture that he can. He'll just have to massage the details to make them a little more believable later. Apart from that, the night is going to pass uneventfully.
Even though, so I stay with in the room next door, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, that's fine.
You and Mr. Hammer both. He will at some point take off his shoes and go to bed. If you choose to stay up all night, that's entirely up to you.
I think I'd pass out at some point, but like...
Okay. And yeah, don't worry, there's not some trick here. You're not going to wake up with somebody biting your chest. You wake up the next morning.
I have my shotgun.
Yeah, you do.
Bang, bang, bang.
The next morning, there is a wake-up call as the little old lady who runs this place alone comes by and knocks on all of the doors. At the other hotel, we'll have... I'm going to drop your characters onto the screen, but it's...
Oh no, we split the party. I'm sorry, guys.
You do it every session.
It's actually more okay in this than in D&D, because fights aren't balanced anyway.
But still, I still get to judge.
Okay. yeah, you wake up the next morning. It is not quite the same. This hotel has more than one employee, and there are actually phones here, which there aren't at the Hotel España. So when you receive your wake-up calls, it's in the form of a ringing phone.
Okay.
Nice.
You have a whole day stretching out ahead of you that you can choose to do anything you like with. Any additional preparations or research you want to do?
Well, as I said before, I do want to pick up a few trinkets for some folks back home. So, I think first things first, I'm going to get myself some breakfast downstairs, and then I'm going to head back over to the España and pick up the boys.
Sounds
Because
reasonable.
Mr. Hammer volunteered to take me around and act as translator.
Yes. Yes, he did. Yeah, there will be some sausage. There'll be probably some empanadas, and obviously orange juice and coffee for breakfast.
Munch.
And I don't believe that I have a marketplace background, so we're just going to go to the just go back to the table for this. But you can all meet up and make your way to the market district.
Excellent. By the
Now
way, I hate to break up the flow of this. But did we ever go ahead and switch my power over from divination to that thing you recommended?
I don't believe we did, but you can. I'm assuming you're just going to keep the same ranks in it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I can do that right now. It doesn't take but a moment.
Okay. I would appreciate that because that'd work great.
And Hammer's going to ask you what sort of trinkets do you think your people would enjoy?
Well, I know at least 3 of our new employees have children at home, so if we could find some, I don't know, dolls or any kind of fun local things for them. I know one of them would appreciate a jewelry box. And for my father, I think I'd like to get a pin.
Well, I can show you. There are these fascinating cornhusk dolls around here.
Ooh, lovely. All right.
And definitely there are, I don't know that they're necessarily intended to be jewelry boxes, but there's some beautiful little boxes around here. The pen might be a little more difficult. We might have to just go into sort of a high-end store for that as opposed to local manufacture.
Oh, not a pen. A pin. Like for the lapel?
Pin. I'm sorry.
Yes. That's all right. I know my accent can be a little strange.
No, it's lovely.
Well, thank you.
And while we're making these purchases, do the rest of you have anything you want to find here, or?
I don't have anything to find, but I'm gonna go back to the doctor's place. Not doctor.
Dr.
smart guy.
Sanchez? Professor
Yeah,
Sanchez?
yeah. This professor.
All right. Hammer will tell you, I have his business card. I do know his address. I don't know that he's prepared to welcome visitors on a Sunday morning. I think he's probably going to be in church.
I think you'd be interested in this. I'll hold up the bag of gold, of a golden mask. Of course, it's covered so no one can see it's gold, but you know.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, let's see. He'll take you. At one of the hotels, you can grab an extra street map, and he'll mark out directions on the map for you. Since
Do have a question about it because I don't recall last time. Did I try to reach into the mask or something? Is that a thing?
you looked at the part of it at the. So the front of the thing looks like a mask, without eye holes. Like it has the design of eyes on the front, but there aren't actually holes through it. The back side is flat and polished to such a sheen that it works like a mirror. And when you looked into the mirror, that's when you saw visions.
Okay.
Now, Birdie also saw some visions, and that was when she was trying to sort of interface with the piece of gold that you believe came from the pyramid itself. I don't recall. Have you shared these visions with each other?
I think that's actually what we broke to do before the end of last game, but I'm
was.
absolutely fine with having shared them this morning or like between sessions. In media res, I think is the phrase.
Sure.
I'm not gonna share mine because I already been called crazy once.
Okay. Even
Not to
when
imply that I'm not.
So even when Birdie brings up her own vision, you don't bring up yours.
Yeah, even when I bring up both of the things that I've seen.
Just up
the
to you.
thing that
You
I
don't
got
have
with
to.
I don't want anyone to try it out and then like have themselves sucked into the mask or something. I feel like that's a thing that's gonna happen.
That's fair.
Okay.
There's dangers to knowledge.
And the second that Hammer tries to give me any guff about
Oh no, he
the
thinks
stuff that
visions
I...
are fascinating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
has-
interesting.
Visions of his own sometimes. They involve substances, but he believes that they can be triggered by other things as well. And Connor, I'm assuming you're just going to follow after Birdie?
Or do you have something else to do?
Not really. Connor has no interest in what's going on right now, except for keeping Birdie safe from the apparent leeches that are walking around, and keeping our benefactor alive too. Besides that, he's got nothing else going on.
Okay.
Okay.
If anything, he's just a little bit more stressed than normal.
Otherwise, just another Sunday morning.
Just another day.
Okay, yeah. In that case, Hammer will show you around. He doesn't have any particular interest in these dolls, but it's not difficult for him to show you where they are. And you can find... Sorry, I'm switching a map while we're doing this.
No worries.
You can find pretty much whatever you want. You can find some cornhusk dolls. They're easy. They're everywhere. You can also look around and find some more what you would consider traditional dolls. You can find cloth ones. They're going to be on the higher end of the cost and probably more for tourists than for...
I'll get... Do they have any, let's see, like dogs or cats or birds or anything, like toys for
Sure,
dolls?
yeah.
Okay. I'll get 3 cornhusk dolls, and then a couple of dogs and a couple of birds, I think, is what I'll get for the kids back home.
There's quite a few children in your family.
Oh, they ain't mine.
No,
These
of
these
course
are
not.
these
You're
are the
clearly
folks
too
that
young.
work for us. These are for the folks that work for us.
You seem to be a kind employer.
I try to be. There is enough misery in this world without the people who are supposed to take care of you making it worse. And then I'll grab a couple of other things that I think the parents might like. It's like flowers or things like that.
Okay.
Like pressed stuff.
So that sounds like a very pleasant way to spend the morning and early afternoon.
Yeah. Just being a tourist.
Yeah.
And not the bad kind.
And Victor, as the morning draws to a close, you're going to think, okay, church should be ending about now. Maybe I can head over there. And we can jump to the professor's house. What are you thinking you would like to do?
I'm thinking I'm gonna try to go through the front door.
Okay.
Just walk in.
I mean, at least the porch.
Yeah, that's the fence. Like, you just walked in the front fence, and you can go over and knock on the door.
Yeah, I'll knock.
Yeah, and after a moment, it's going to be opened by a woman, probably about 30s, and she says, "Hola."
Hello, is this where the professor lives? I forgot his name.
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Nemesio Sanchez. Yeah, she looks at you a little confused, but you say Professor Sanchez. She says, and holds up a finger. She heads over, and you hear her speaking in Spanish, and then a moment later, the professor comes out to the door. Is Mr. Oswald, how can I help you?
We had found something. I'd like you to take a look at it.
Oh, well, come into my study. They leads you around the corner. This is a pretty nice house. You can hear the sound of a baby wailing in the background. There's a radio playing softly in the house. The woman you saw, he says, you've met my wife Maria. I'm afraid she doesn't speak English. But she heads off down the room to where you can hear the baby crying, and he takes you into a small study. There are a few artifacts on the wall. There's actually a guitar in here, a small desk with a typewriter and some books. He says, "No, you say you found. Is this something you found in the museum?"
This is where, God, names. The one that bit me.
De Mendoza.
De Mendoza. We went to go and see if De Mendoza was still at the hotel, but there was nothing there. It looked undisturbed, but he did have an object under his bed. I'll pull out the casing of the golden mask. I open it up, show him distinctly, have it like this, so I don't see the bottom or the smooth side, but I'm showing him the top. I
Okay.
found this. Would you be able to tell me if this would probably so there was a pyramid found. Would you be able to tell me if this came from that same pyramid, that expedition?
Okay, I'm gonna real quick. James Reed would absolutely want to be here for this and want to be involved in this, but I'm gonna say that he drew the short end of the straw, and he's the one who has to take care of Larkin this morning. He drew the short straw when you were all, so he's tied up.
I would have asked him, but yeah.
So he will take it from you, and he'll say, "Well, this is a fairly large artifact. I'm afraid I have not been to the pyramids, so I don't know if this would be from a similar time."
Like flip it over, right?
Well, he's sitting it down on the desk, and he's going to start, you're going to see him examining the face. And after a moment, he's going to start flipping it over.
Put my hand on it. I don't do that.
May I ask why not?
It involves things that I don't think we should see, like that vampire, things that shouldn't exist. I looked at it myself, and I seen a vision of a temple. I don't know if you'd see the same thing as me.
You're saying that there's some... Looking at the object gave you a vision.
Yes.
I don't want to seem insensitive. Are you prone to seeing visions?
No. I guess it'd be a read intentions to figure out if he thinks I'm crazy.
Okay,
It's not read intentions, but I don't
psychology.
have. I don't even have psychology, but I'll do it. I'll do it still.
You've got it
You
at
have
the base
it at-
level.
Oh, you have it at 10. That's impressive. Want to spend 68 luck?
But yeah, I can't really tell what he's going at, but I'm like, no, I'm not.
Okay. I don't... This isn't... I'm something of an expert in folklore as well as archaeology, and I'm not aware of any connection with the Karasiri that would have to visions. Can you describe to me what it is that you did see?
I will recite if you want to reread it or tell everyone again, because I don't have it clear in my head anymore. You know what? I'll grab the mask. Tell me, do you? So I won't. I'll like grab it. Like, if I look at this again, I try my best to tell what I see. Would you write it down?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. I'll look again.
All right.
When he's ready, of course, because, I'm not gonna...
Yeah, he'll get out some paper and a pen and look at you expectantly. And if you're going to stare into it, go ahead and make a power roll. Okay. That is an extreme success.
Pretty dang good.
You don't have a vision. You find yourself in a black space. You find yourself disconnected from your body. And kind of from all around you, you hear a voice.
I didn't ask for a new priest. Who are you?
Victor. Who are you?
I'm God.
I feel like... Hello, God?
It's nice to meet you, Victor.
What? Who's your old priest?
Oh, I haven't had a priest of my own in so long.
I could not understand.
We don't need to worry about that. How do you propose to serve me, Victor?
Am I physically anywhere? Am I able to move
You
around?
retain your body.
Okay. I don't propose to serve anyone.
Ghostbusters moment.
Well, that's not a very good answer.
I don't even know your name.
Well, alright, you can... Some people called me the Father of Worms.
Father of Worlds?
Father of Worms.
Worms.
I have so many names. But that one's appropriate here.
Am I trapped here?
You've offered yourself up to my pleasure.
Alright. You, I did not offer myself up to you.
You have contacted me using the paraphernalia belonging to my priesthood. This should be an initiation.
Can I force myself out of this?
No, you can't.
Okay. Well, I'm certain I'm not going crazy. This voice is trying to, is convinced I know something I don't. I'm going to... I only see pitch blackness, correct?
Yeah, but if you want to try to focus, you can. I'm not gonna make you roll anything, it's just a decision you would make.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, if you decide you want to focus into the darkness, focus on the voice, try to make sense of what you're looking at, you will see slowly the dim outline of an enormous throne. And sitting on it, a figure that looks something like a pharaoh.
Something like a frog?
Pharaoh from Egypt. I should turn off.
I should turn off the voice when I'm not speaking for him.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Although that was hilarious.
I love it.
I didn't know how to react to that.
Like, the second that the voice changer came on, I was like, Fluffy and his bullshit, man. Oh.
Hello, Victor. I'm God. Oh. Oh no.
So what does it look like?
You see something like an Egyptian pharaoh sitting on an enormous throne.
Oh, is that a sand check at all? Is any of this a sand check?
Well, let's start out with then a D6 sanity cost for successfully making that extreme power roll. And then it
just
also
a flat 6?
a D6.
Oh, D6.
Yeah.
1d6.
Okay. It also costs 5 power.
5 power?
Yes.
That's just magic, correct?
No. It costs 5 pow
Oh!
from your pow
Just
stat.
flat pow. Oh!
Yes.
Everything is a resource, Fluffy.
Okay.
And he continues to question you. He's asking about your name. He's asking about your life.
I will...
And he's asking what
Is he
you
being
will...
hostile?
No, he's being regal.
Then,
Like, he just expects that you're here to serve him, and that there's really no question of this.
I would ask if, for every question he asks of me, that I am able to ask one in return. As I have no clue what I am doing here.
No.
Okay, why do you think I'm going to serve you? Is this...
Everything ultimately serves me. But you chose the direct path. You've got my attention.
Are you...
Are you coming to find me?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. Come find me, come serve me, come release me. I will teach you so many things. I will
Why-
teach you how to impose my will on the world. I will teach you how to make my will your own.
How do I know if this is all real and not just a part of my imagination? Am I not crazy?
Not yet. But I'll give you a sign.
Alright.
It was interesting to meet you, Victor. I'm going to release you now, but we'll speak again later.
Alright. right?
And you will blink and find yourself back in the room with Professor Sanchez sitting with his pen to paper, ready for you to begin telling him about your vision.
I'm just gonna grab the bag, toss that mask back right in, just tie it up. Cold sweat running down my brow, just like, no. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, this was a mistake.
Are you sure that
No, I have to go. I'm sorry.
you barely did anything? You just stood there for a moment. And...
Thank you for your time, Professor, but
Well, all right.
Thank you. And I will try to leave.
You look peaked. Would you like a drink?
Yes, please.
He will. Yeah, he'll pour you a stiff drink and give you a moment to just sit and collect yourself. I see you weren't joking about the about seeing a vision. You seem very shaken.
Do you believe that there's things out there that people shouldn't see at all? I might have said something like that earlier, but do you honestly believe that? Do you think that every scrap of knowledge is worth knowing?
You grew up around here. You hear stories your whole life about what lives off in the jungle, and I'll be honest, as an educated man, I'm never entirely certain how much of it is cultural fears and how much is just an explanation of why you shouldn't go off by yourself in the darkness, and how much is actual danger out there. Sounds like you might have gotten a glimpse of something of actual danger.
I suppose I have. Though, only time will tell if it was real or not. Maybe I'm just going crazy. The stress of this job. I'm trying to, try to seem a little bit more calmer. Seem, at least. I don't know what he's thinking.
Denial.
Exactly.
He's going to, as you finish your drink and set your glass down on his desk, he's going to say, "I didn't notice. Did you? How badly was your hand marked up yesterday? Did you get medical attention?"
Minor.
You look at your hand, and there is it's not tender. There's no pain associated with it, but there's just this symbol in the palm.
Okay. I'll look at it. I'm sorry, I was bleeding yesterday. Today I'm no longer bleeding?
Well, your hand has scabbed over. This is not from the attack.
It's on my other hand?
It is, well, your palm wasn't, you had, suckers biting into your hand. Mm-hmm. This is, black ink in your flesh. The flesh of the palm of your hand.
Okay. I'll just close it.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Ignore it.
I have a question. Does the... oh god. that voice messed up everything. I want to say Prince of Worms, God of Worms. Ring any bell at all? Have you ever heard a mention of this?
Worms. Where is it? There we go. He says, you know that does worms, is it father of worms, maybe?
Yes, that sounds more familiar.
Yes, Senor Figueroa mentioned that in his book. And he's going to go over to a suitcase he'd been packing, clearly to go with you on your journey, and he's going to pull out the ancient book.
He has an ancient book?
Well, it's from 1543. It's the
Oh.
Confessions that... last time around, Birdie read out the notes on the Confessions. But I don't believe that the notes say anything about the father of worms. But when you say the actual word, he starts flipping through the book until he says, "Yes, there's some mention here. It's some parts of the book get a little more rambling." Senor Figueroa believed that he knew a ritual that would allow him to actually contact what he said is the father of worms, and but he never chose to actually perform it himself. I'm sorry, the father of maggots.
Okay, it's Father of Maggots, not Father of Worms, this meta games. Okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I've been saying the wrong thing the whole time.
Because when you said worms, I was honestly thinking, like, either dragons or, like...
Yeah, no,
like
this is...
worm.
It's maggots.
Those are two very different things, Andrew.
There are little wigglies.
They both do Lego. And you get...
Well, at that rate, you might as well call him father of grubs.
Sure. Just don't call him late to dinner.
I've taken up
I won't
time.
call him at all.
If you two have got something to do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get your strength back. And we'll jump back to the rest of the group. Out just enjoying a lovely Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. We're just having a good time.
Making healthy decisions.
Mm-hmm. And I absolutely am picking up more trinkets just as we walk by things, like stuff that I would have loved as a little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just grabbing, and stuff that I see like other kids playing with in the street, I grab. Try to learn games and such so that I can take those home.
And
end up with 3 shopping bags on each arm of Hammer because I'm making him carry my stuff, and I'll carry one.
He is also going to take you by a couple of stalls for. So you've had wine before, but have you had sangria?
I cannot say I have.
Oh, you are going. My God, it is the absolute best. They soak vegetables in it for days on end. It is. Oh, it is better than any
All
cocktail.
right. All right. I'm willing to give it a shot.
And Connor, Mr.
Yep.
Leon, are you?
Am I?
It's a red wine. It has, depending on where you get it, it can have mangoes. It can have pineapples. It can have. Sometimes they use bananas and oranges.
Sounds amazing.
So yeah, while Victor is talking to the father of maggots, the three of you are wandering around with big glasses of sangria and buying little trinkets and.
We're just having a pleasant little afternoon while he's hearing, "Hi, Victor, I'm God. Worship me now."
Exactly.
Oh.
And if there's nothing else specific that you want to get done,
Nope.
Really.
we can
That
either
was
have
it.
you all meet up in the evening or we can jump to the next morning. Whenever you next have something you want to do.
Mm.
Victor, do you want to talk to anybody?
You want to talk about it, bud?
I think so. After getting that information and like trying to relay everything that me and this entity said to each other, as I was lost and confused, I'll just go home a little bit blank faced, feeling a little less powerful or less willful than I did before.
And before you start getting nightmares.
Okay. And yeah, there can be a pleasant evening meal. Mr. Reed will join you at some point and report that Larkin has been taking his medicine diligently, and he appears to have recovered pretty nicely. The room is still absolutely disgusting, and hopefully they'll be able to sneak out without the innkeeper noticing it. But everything should be ready for your departure the next morning.
All right.
Yeah, so 8 o'clock next morning, bright and early, outside the Hotel España, you're going to find Mr. Larkin with a couple of suitcases, dressed in his white linen suit, already completely soaked. Just sweat dripping off of the man. He looks recovered from the other evening when he was at death's door, but he's still clearly not a healthy man. And he's got 3 trucks loaded up and ready to go. There's some expedition supplies in there. Professor Sanchez will show up with his own suitcases. And you can all load in.
Birdie is visibly annoyed at Larkin.
Why would you be annoyed at Mr. Larkin now?
Because he's still clearly not well. And he's going into the jungle.
Well, yes, but there are such treasures to find.
And what use are those treasures gonna be if you don't have your life?
Well, I certainly hope it won't come to that. I've been... well, Birdie, I assure you, I've been taking my medicine. I'm certain that I'll get through this just fine. Just fine. Everything will be fine.
Number of folks I've heard say that.
He will get into the lead truck. You are all free to split yourselves up however you want among the remaining trucks. There are drivers here, but Connor, if you want to take over for the one that Birdie's in, they're not going to argue with you. They're being paid quite well for the hiring of their trucks. And you're going to begin a journey southward.
Hang out in the rear truck.
Okay. Yeah, you are going to be heading 800 miles south.
Ooh.
And up into the Andes, across the highlands. It's going to take about 3 days for the trucks traveling along narrow roads, dirt roads, along cliff sides. I unfortunately do not have the ability to do the red line from Indiana Jones, but we can just imagine that that's happening as you make your way down to Puno. Now, Puno is a city of about 20,000 people. So smaller than Lima, but by no means a tiny little village. And it is adjacent to Lake Titicaca. Which is the largest lake in South America. It is 100 miles tip to tip, 50 miles wide at its broadest point, and it is over 12,000 feet above sea level. Which means that as the days go on and you travel farther and farther, you're going to hear the trucks struggle sometimes, and yes, all of you are going to begin having some trouble breathing. Go ahead, if you don't mind, and make constitution checks for me as we're getting to
Yay.
Puno. Very nice. Yeah, Victor, you've been through worse conditions than this. And Birdie, no problem as well.
Hey.
All right, here's
Connor be the one to suffer.
here
He
it
can take his
is.
drink, but he can't take his liquor.
Hey.
For a
Very
second, I
good.
thought I meant 100. I was like,
I mean,
dang.
it is a 50% chance at success, but still, like that's bad.
Yeah, so all of you have athlete's lungs. You're very good at dealing with it. You see, Mr. Hammer has clearly been up here before, and you'll see him chewing on some leaves, which, if you ask about it, he'll offer you some. He says it'll help you with the effects of the oxygen deprivation, but if you're doing fine without it, you're just fine.
Well, can I ask what it is?
These are coca leaves. It's
Really?
it's a local medicine.
All right.
Would you like some? You can.
I'll
You
certainly
can.
give it a try.
You can just chew them. You can make a tea out of them. There's a
All
lot of
right.
uses up here. There's an acquaintance of mine, a lady named Naira, a Yatiri, a healer, a sort of a shaman around here who's taught me about. Last time I was here, I will admit I had to struggle a bit with the air, and she laughed at me and gave me some of these leaves and showed me how to find them, and it proved to be a great relief.
Well,
If you
if
have
we
a
have a
headache,
time, I might have to look her up.
I would suggest that we do find her.
All right.
She is actually the one who told me what I know about the Karasiri. I took some of her stories literally. I took some of them more metaphorically. Seen some more evidence at this point that they really are active around here. And I think it would be good to check in with her and see what else she could tell us. Mr. Larkin, however, she is the one who pointed De Mendoza out to me, and Mr. Larkin doesn't know that I've been here before, so I don't intend to mention that little fact to him.
That's fair enough.
I'm still not entirely certain about the man, even though it does seem that De Mendoza may have been working alone. I'm not positive.
Well, if you were discovered and you were in a cult, you wouldn't want to out your employer, would you?
You know, it's a fair question. Not one that I've ever really considered.
Not that I'm saying Mr. Larkin is. Man looks like he's more on the bleeding end of things.
Yes.
But,
Yes, he's hardly a commanding presence, is he?
folks like that need to be at home, in bed, and listening to actual doctors.
You'll get no argument from me, but he does seem to have the most knowledge of the group of us.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Larkin seemed a bit. When Sanchez showed up unannounced, Larkin did seem a bit off-put, but he didn't argue when you told him that Sanchez would be joining you on the expedition.
And I will quietly pull Mr. Sanchez aside and inform him that, as far as Mr. Larkin concerned, things are still going as planned, and we are planning on stopping him when the time comes, but we have to make sure we get there first.
Oh no, yes, I understand the nature of the subterfuge.
Unfortunate.
Certainly, it wouldn't do to have him become suspicious of that we intend to. Well, that we're going to stop whatever plans he may have at this point.
Mm.
The man probably will stop in his own heart before anything else happens. It looks like he's dying still, right?
Oh, yeah.
Exponentially still.
Yeah, he handles the trip into the thin air better than you might have expected. But yeah, he's still not in good shape.
Fluffy, would you have told us about your vision, or are you keeping that just between you and Sanchez?
That's a thing I ain't gonna bring up. Mm-mm.
All right.
Yeah, and Sanchez
That's
is
some-
aware that you had some sort of vision, but what it is, he doesn't know. You kept that to yourself.
All right.
Like, it's not that I don't trust you guys, but like,
How do you talk about something like that?
how do you put that into words?
Yeah. So I saw God and called
And
himself
God-
the father of worms or the father of maggots. And
And I
yeah,
guess I'm his
he's
priest
waiting
now.
for us. He's expecting us.
Wait, hold on. You said I am his priest now? Like,
Well, he said that you contacted him using the method that his new priests use, and he expects you to serve him.
oh, okay.
By doing what you
There's
did,
no
Fluffy, you made a deal. You're a warlock now. Good
I mean,
luck.
not necessarily. It's just that God says you did.
Close enough, some. But, this guy's gonna learn I don't do well with leashes.
And a few days later, you'll find yourselves in the city of Puno. On the shore of Lake Titicaca. And Larkin will tell you that this is where you're going to make your final preparations. He's going to see about hiring some burros so that they can carry your equipment into the jungle. What's the shush?
He was... that was a jackass,
No.
right?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, it was.
See, I thought that was Fluffy.
Yeah, they sound very similar.
He says, if you have any last-minute purchases to make, I'm going to stock up on some rope, some dried foods, and coffee, cooking tins, the like. But any other last-minute purchases that you think of before we head into the jungle, feel free to put them on my tab. We're getting so close. This is exciting.
I am gonna get some additional ammo. Oh, Puppy! What's wrong with Puppy?
She just chokes sometimes because she's old. She had been sleeping.
Baby.
She woke up and had to cough.
Oh,
I'm going to order a few crates of 12 gauge.
A few crates.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have that much in town, Fluffy.
Yeah, you'd have to pretty much clear out their whole stock to have a crate of 12 gauge.
I'll do that.
There is a right. So again, this is a city of 20,000. There are different neighborhoods you can head into, but in this one you've just pulled into, there's a bar, there's a church, there's a small hotel, and also the sort of a almost an army surplus store that is where Larkin is heading to get the supplies.
Yeah, I'm gonna request a good amount of 22 ammo.
Hammer's going to tell a couple of you anyway that my friend Naira lives in a house up on the hills, but when I was here last time, she mentioned that the Karasiri were watching her, so I'm wondering if she might have gone into hiding. I'm gonna ask around a little bit, see if I can figure out where to go visit her.
All right, please do.
And he'll head off and leave all of you to your own devices. Sanchez is sticking around with you. He can act as a translator if you need it. You're going to notice, as you're making your way around town, people are looking at you and talking to each other.
Is my hand covered up, right?
You can wear a glove if you want to.
Yeah, just a singular glove.
Okay.
Well, that's not suspicious at all. What?
People, what are they trying to say? Oh, wait, no, I don't understand their language.
No, you don't.
However, I can repeat it. Very horribly.
Okay, you want to try to listen in on somebody and then repeat it to Sanchez?
Yeah.
All right. You can make a listen check to see if you can, because they're not standing and pointing and saying things out loud. They're shying away from you and whispering among each other. Yeah. Okay.
Respectable.
Yeah, you're not going to catch a whole lot. You're not going to get enough to like give Sanchez a whole context so that he can tell you what a conversation is or anything, but you will hear a word that you recognize. You'll hear that when they're like looking at the group of you white people and staying far away from you, they're whispering about Karasiri. Or Pishtaku, which you know is another word for a very similar or the same creature.
Where did Jonathan say he's seen his associate said that they've seen Karasaki
Very
the
Siri.
vampire. Karasaki.
Yeah. So he'll tell you that he would have told you before he took off that Naira said that they were, they didn't usually see them around here, but they had recently seen some of them like watching from the jungle. Just stalking around the outside of the town, and that De Mendoza is supposed to be one of them.
I've had enough exploring for one day. Well, I mean, not one day for a good week.
I don't know. You met. You found a new god for yourself. I mean, like that's that's just the beginning of an adventure, man.
If they have a little market here, I will gladly look around and smile and be friendly at people and just try to charm them through body language while I find a couple of like foods locally.
Okay.
And have Sanchez come along to translate for me when necessary, but mostly just smile and be ridiculously friendly.
Yeah, he's going to do what he can for you, and he'll translate and help you, make exchange of money, but people are not inclined to be near you right now.
Fair enough.
And after a while, he's definitely picking up on the fact that you're not really welcome, and they're suspicious of him for hanging out with you, and then he'll tell you, here's some of them talking. Apparently there have been some people going missing lately around the village, and they believe that it was the Karasiri doing it.
Oh, good. I don't suppose we have time to solve that particular mystery.
Well, So Larkin, you pulled in sometime around early afternoon here. And Larkin's saying he's going to get the supplies, hire the donkeys, and you'll leave early tomorrow morning. Head out to the jungle then. But, it'll be a few hours later. Mr. Hammer will make his way back to the bunch of you. And he's going to report, yes, it's kind of what I thought. Naira has gone into hiding. Apparently there have been more Karasiri murders around here, or at least people disappearing, and she thinks that they were specifically stalking her. Take a look out at the lake for me.
I'll look out there.
Yeah, and you're going to look out, and he's going to point at a couple of things off in the distance. He'll say, you see those sort of islands out there?
Mm-hmm.
So those are artificial. They make islands out of reeds, and they build little houses on them, and people live there, just one family or a couple of people, and they fish on them. And apparently Naira has taken up hiding with a family on one of those islands. So I'm thinking that we wait for night to come, and then we just row out and see her. See what she can tell us about the place.
Is there any way for her to know that, for her to be expecting us? Because, considering how tense things are around here regarding us, I don't know how much I want to push that.
Well, I don't know how we would tell them. I don't know how to give her advance word that I'm coming without tipping off Mr. Larkin that we're doing something, or any Karasiri that might be watching.
It's fair
But
enough.
I can tell you that I'll be welcome. And as my guest, I'll introduce you to her. She is one of the friendliest people I've met. She is a hoot.
Oh, that's
Naira
fair
is,
enough.
yeah, she's been around for a while, but what a gal.
All right. What do we think, fellas? Do we want to go out there as a big group, or shall Mr. Ham and I go by ourselves?
Connor wants to go with you. He can.
I don't
do my own
think-
investigation.
Your own investigation?
Yeah. Or
Well, no offense, but I don't think any of us should be going off on our lonesomes.
You can't speak Spanish, buddy.
what I want to do doesn't require speaking Spanish, so it's all good.
Okay.
Either way, you don't look too good. You should take Connor with you. I'm sure that Mr. Hammer can take care of me just fine.
The professor is going to interject and say, I would absolutely love to meet this Naira.
Well, there you go.
I'm not complaining.
Right, so you folks do
okay.
your investigation. And we'll go do ours. Maybe I'll pick up a few tricks from her.
Try not to learn anything too scandalous. He was trying to imply something like that, right? I just want to make sure, like, Hammer didn't like imply that, she got around or something. That's what I was trying to.
No,
I misread that.
she's an older woman.
Okay.
who I have a feeling would
you-
beat somebody's ass for that.
Yeah, you might get the impression that he really enjoys her, but she's not like a sex worker or something.
No, what I was going to say. I thought they had
Okay.
a close relationship or something like that. And I was like,
Ah.
okay. But yeah, no. I'm just gonna go to I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna look at the jungle for a bit. I won't wander too far.
You're heading out into the jungle.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look around.
Where people have been saying that there are
Karasiri hanging
Karisiri,
out.
and people think you're a Karisiri.
I have my shotgun. If they want to start
Okay.
something, I'll be fine.
Well, when Connor comes back, we can let him decide whether he intended to go with Victor or with Birdie.
Listen,
Oh,
I know. There's one thing I know. This man's not gonna like me. And if he's watching the real Karasiri here, if he's watching me, I'm gonna make sure I get him. I'm gonna get him good.
All right, Joey.
Yep.
We are splitting the party again.
Oh, wonderful.
Almost
Do you wanna
everybody
go
is
with
going
Victor?
out on the. Yeah, almost everybody's going out on the lake in a group, and then Victor is going to head into the jungle alone at night. So, it's up to you which group you're heading with.
I would say go with Victor and make sure we don't have to replace him in the party. But on the other hand, maybe let him go alone and disappear, and we can get somebody who's a little less suicidal.
Right? Fluffy.
Oh,
Fluffy. Why?
I have a plan.
Oh,
Everything's
you
alright
have a
now.
plan?
Yeah, I have a plan. And my plan's
Okay.
ever gone awry?
yes.
Well, obviously
whenever we
that was
see
part of
him
the
walking off on his own, Connor is just going to look at Birdie and look at him like, do I follow?
I'll be fine. If you want to try to take responsibility for him, you're welcome to. I'm leaving this one to you.
This is gonna be a shit day. He starts following Victor.
As you start to walk away, Hammer's going to say, the one note I'll make is, I'm not the best at rowing. I mean, I'll make my best effort, but it might take us a little longer without the burlier type coming along.
Oh, wait, is Connor Burley?
Connor has a 60.
Yeah, Hammer does
He's
not.
above average.
And Sanchez is a college professor.
Yeah, Fluffy, you're leaving and I'm leaving, and we're the strongest of the two.
I have a 25 strength.
Oh my god, what is...
Yeah,
I
Hammer
have
is
a
stronger
30
than you.
strength. I'm stronger than you are.
I see where people say don't skip leg day. I forgot about arm day.
Oh, good lord.
I prize myself on being quick and fast.
Okay. So, under cover of darkness, most of you are going to take one of the small boats and row out onto the lake with just a lantern to guide you. It is... You have a lantern on the front of the boat, and it's a starlit night, and it's not the modern sky with night light stretching out and reflecting back at you. You can kind of make things out. And Hammer will guide you towards the island he's been told that Naira is staying on. And you'll feel a soft crunch as the boat runs into the reeds. Mr. Hammer and Sanchez will kind of scramble over the front while Connor holds it steady with the oars. And they'll work and try to kind of pull the rowboat up. And all of you can get out onto the reeds and they'll pull the boat up onto the island. It's a strange feeling walking on this surface that you know is just woven out of dried grass. It's thick. It's definitely floaty. You can see that it's supporting a small house on it. But it's still, the ground gives way a little bit as you walk, and it rocks on the gentle waves in the night. And then on the island, Mr. Hammer will call out. You'll hear him calling out in Spanish. And you'll hear him say Naira, and he's also calling out Hammer. And before long, a wizened lady, shrunken with age, but remarkably spry still, comes around the corner of the house holding a lantern and a shotgun. And when she sees the group of you, she looks around, she sees Mr. Hammer, he walks over, and they give each other a big hug. And you see them talking away to each other. There's a weird... It's a little flirtatious. The two of them seem to really enjoy that sort of interaction.
Fair enough.
But then he calls the rest of you over, and he introduces you one by one, and he's translating for her. She says the birdie's a very pretty young lady. She comments on Connor, and she actually comes over and starts feeling his arms a little bit. She's also okay. So she's got a shotgun that she puts down and leans against the house so she can flirt with Connor a little bit. She's chewing on a piece of jerky, and then she's gonna pull another one out of a pouch and offer it up to you.
He'll take it.
Yeah. You try to chew it?
Yeah, he takes it and he gives a smile and he puts it in his mouth.
Yeah, so it's wood. And she starts laughing and slapping her leg. And Palmer says, yeah, she got me that way too. It's I don't know why she thinks it's so funny. But
I think it's funny.
I mean, it's just... She acts like she's handing you food and she doesn't hand you food. It's not a great joke, but... She loves it, so I guess it made her happy.
Live your bliss.
And then after a moment, she'll invite the group of you into the hut. And there will be a continued conversation. And Hannah will tell you that, yeah, there's... yeah, there were more Karasiri coming around town, and she, like, after Hammer left, and after she had told him about the whole situation, she started seeing them stalking really close to her hut. And she suspects that she's being targeted now because she was telling outsiders about the problem. And so she's gone into hiding with this... There are a couple other people here on the island. There's a father and son. Under questioning, she says, no, they're not really related, but, she kind of takes care of everybody in the area, and so when she needs it, they're taking care of her, too.
Good place. I'm going to mention that our missing party member was actually attacked by a Karisiri.
Yeah. When he translates
I'm going
her,
to bring that up.
yeah, her eyes go up, and she starts. Hammer says, right? She's asking, did he actually have his fat sucked out?
Don't believe so. I do know that he had a nasty wound on his arm where it seems to have bit him.
She says she's glad that he's safe then.
He saved the life of a young lady who was working with Professor Sanchez here.
You know, it's, she says there's been... She's always suspected that this is related to the conquistadors somehow, because it's it's a story about white men and the big hats and all of that, and all of the Karisiri she's seen over the years have been white men. But lately, disturbingly, there have been some that look more like locals, and it seems like the group is spreading.
Well, how does this thing kind of spread? How does this kind of thing spread?
Yeah, nobody knows. This is a weird monster that comes in the night and attacks you with knives and steals your fat. Metals.
I think somebody may want to go outside.
I think she might want treats too. But
Your dog got my dog started.
there is a story. There's a story about it. There's a story about how an ancient evil god fell from the sky and landed in Lake Titicaca. And it crawled out, and it brought hunger with it. It devoured everything. It ate the wheat. It ate the corn. It ate the animals. It ate the jungle. And there was a trickster hero named Akeko, who told the god that the most nutritious fruit was found underground, and he taught it about potatoes and about grubs. And he tempted it to go into an old armadillo burrow that he had sort of seeded with some of this food. Then he placed stones over top of the burrow and trapped the god below. And he told the people it was a sacred site now and had them build a temple over it. And they put spells over it worked in gold. And the god from the sky is still alive under the temple. And people who are wise know to avoid its tomb. She tells you, if you're looking for a pyramid, I think you're looking for that temple. People around here know better than to approach it.
I'm going to tell her about the vision that I had of the tendrils reaching out of the top of a temple. I'm going to tell her about that.
She's going to nod while Hammer and Sanchez can help translate too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're done, she's going to say, that sounds an awful lot like an evil god escaping.
It does.
Is that why you're going there? To let him free?
Well, I don't... Well, that's certainly not why I'm going there. When we first came here, we were in it for the money. I cannot lie about that. We were in it for the money.
Sanchez
But the
looks
more
at you.
I understand... But the more I hear about this kind of thing from everyone involved, and I will look at Mr. Sanchez when I say that, the more I realize this is something that we don't have any right touching. So I would like to help if I can.
Sanchez is going to comment on the spells worked in gold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's going to bring up the piece of metal that was pried loose from the pyramid. So, if this thing was sealed under there and there was some sort of magic keeping it in place, and they broke one of the wards, I wonder if that's... And while he's talking, Hammer's looking at him kind of incredulously. He kind of slowly stops pursuing that line of thought.
I'm gonna give Hammer a look at that one.
He's looking back.
It is a line of thought worth considering, because, Mr. Hammer, whether or not you believe in it, these people believe that this kind of thing is very real, and it is important to understand every facet of it from their perspective. We can figure out our own perspectives later, but it's important to have theirs.
I will bite my tongue.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, as the night goes on, she's going to tell you more stories about the area. She'll tell you that the lake is the birthplace of humanity, and that in times past, the god Viracocha rose from the waters and brought humans with him. And he orchestrated the heavens by positioning the sun and the moon and the stars, and he commanded humans to spread out over the whole world. And how the lake itself is a goddess. And when the Spanish came, they told the people they had to stop worshipping the lake and that they should worship the Virgin Mary instead. But they kind of became the same thing around here. And you should watch out when you're wandering in the mountains and in caves, because there could be sleeping matrukna, which are creatures made of bones. They're servants that get up and will work the fields and fertilize the crops by day, but other times, because of the sins they committed in life, they're cursed to lie down in the darkness. I don't think any of you were injured, are you?
No.
Then yeah, she will offer to heal. She'll, when you bring up that you're a healer or interested in some of her medicine,
Yes.
or you talk about the coca leaves, yeah, she'll be very happy to teach you a few things that she knows.
Oh, absolutely. I will
Yeah.
gladly learn that. And I will give her some of my grandma's secrets in exchange.
Excellent.
Because that's how this works.
Yeah. And I think that the group of you will spend a pretty fruitful and interesting evening on the island.
Lovely. Is Victor talking to God again?
I don't know. What is Victor doing?
Well, I'm trying to, forget about all that things that I just seen, and, try to see if we're getting followed by, the blood-sucking vampire, or fat-sucking vampire.
So you're just kind of
I'm
wandering
using myself
off
as bait. 100%. 100%. I'm bait.
All right. What is your strategy though? Like, are you just wandering through the darkness and chopping things down with a machete and hoping something comes out to attack you? Or like, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna shout out. You know, I don't see any other character's name other than our player characters.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shout out for that one Parasiri that bit me, specifically that one.
You just straight up yelling De Mendoza.
Yeah,
Okay.
David Mendoza. I heard you kind lurks these places. I'm just gonna whack away and just like I'm gonna spend like a few hours doing this because like
Okay.
haunting either works or doesn't.
We're gonna get shot.
So I'm going to tell you that there is almost no way De Mendoza could be here. Because you traveled south in trucks, and you traveled like 800 miles.
Okay.
So, but go ahead and make a spot hidden check.
Okay.
Because you're making, like, I'm not going to have you roll stealth if this is how you're handling it.
You said spot hidden?
Yeah. Pedals. Hush, hush, hush.
Oh!
Yeah. All right.
I roll.
Yeah, so they're going to leap on you from behind.
Okay. Before you go into any further, Connor said you said you were gonna follow me, right?
No,
I
you
did,
went-
but
I thought you ended up rowing the boat out.
yeah, but I was already taking place in the scene on the raft island. So I
Yeah.
think I'm on that island now, bud.
I thought you were with me. That's why I was like,
I was
okay,
good.
you know what? I'm gonna go full bore. I feel like it's fine. It's fine. We're good. I'm gonna murder me some monsters.
Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that. They're going to jump on you from behind, and I think we'll take a break here for this week.
Hope you have another character ready.
I mean,
I got this.
we are making decisions all over the place here.
Yup.
I got this.
Don't worry. I mean, this is. I promise I'm not out to screw you, and you're doing a very good job giving me openings for cool things to happen. So I'm not upset at you or anything. Just the character you wanted to play is one who's going to burn out eventually, and I think you are on your way to that.
I made it. Like,
Oh.
I didn't really expect a lot of this stuff to happen. Granted, I would have been a little. I would have been a little different, but I thought I had some backup. Fine.
I mean, you were still going out into the woods by yourself.
This is true.
In an area with fat-sucking vampires, which you have been attacked by before. Where the locals don't trust you or like you.
Plus, you have yet again given me an excellent cliffhanger.
Thank my goodness, man. You're the plot twist setupper, and I'm just like, come on, something happened to me so I can do something. Because this is all stuff that Connor doesn't have an interest in. I'm having an escort mission. Right
But
now.
you're making the mistake of making good decisions all the time.
Yeah.
I can't help that. I'm cursed.
I have no problem like looking into this mask that I've already like almost gone crazy about. You know, I'll do it again. It's fine. And then I contact God. You know, all in a day's work.
Fluffy's like, I wonder what would happen if I put my foot in this meat structure. Oh, it cuts it off. Ah.
Ooh, I wonder what would happen if I buried myself in this mound of fire ants.
Well,
That's fluffy.
I want to thank all of you for playing again this week. I had a really good time. You're doing interesting things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have anything you want to say before we say goodnight?
No?
No, have fun. I hope you guys
I'm not
have fun.
dead yet.
Did you say you're not dead yet?
Yeah, I'm not dead yet.
You're definitely not dead yet.
And
100%.
we might have to be the ones to change that, depending on how you go.
Okay.
The boy wishes to say goodnight to anybody who might be watching.
Boy.
We should be back next week.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Adios.
Good night.